Welcome, YouTube. This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review Lil Wayne's 2007 EP, The Leak. This is basically a compilation of like leaked records from the Carter 3 that were supposed to come out in 2007. Lil Wayne originally was going to drop the Carter 3 in 2007. This was kind of a stopgap between his 2005 and 2006 projects, the Carter 2 and Like Father Like Son. This was kind of like a stopgap before the mid 2008 release of like the Carter 3, because originally the Carter 3 was going to come out in 2007, and Lil Wayne really made people wait back then by delaying that album until 2008, when really it had been quite some time apart from like the Drought 3 mixtape that he had done anything. And it's pretty good just because around that time, throughout 2007, Lil Wayne was one of the most coveted musicians in rap music. Every verse he was dropping, he was killing. He had some real dynamite unreleased songs that you can find on mixtapes. There is a leaked the Carter 3 across like some mixtapes that are unofficial and that type of stuff that you can find elsewhere. But a few of the hits from some of those unofficial releases would be classic Lil Wayne songs like I Feel Like Dying, and then I'm a Beast, I'm a Dog. There's just some really great ones in there. There's some Kanye West beats. I mean, he had some pretty official stuff. A lot of this is almost album quality type stuff for Lil Wayne, despite the fact that most of it's probably never going to see the light of day in stores or something. But I definitely recommend checking out those mixtapes. And this Leak project has like 5 songs that were supposed to be on the Carter 3, but they're actually pretty solid. And I just would have to say I'm proud of like the concept behind it, just because the truth of it is this is 2007 Lil Wayne, whereas I feel like the Carter 3 is more 2008. It seemed like he kind of scrapped all those songs he did and just recorded something between like the first 2 or 3 months of 2008 and stuff, particularly like the song he did with Static Major and that type of stuff. So there were some things in there that he kind of did, but I do kind of definitely feel like there is like the 2007 Wayne is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he was definitely annihilating verses. Like the song I'm Me definitely feels like a pretty much one of just an overall almost like career highlight, just of how emphatic and just kind of groovy that it winds up being. It's just really kind of kick ass to kind of see that. And of course, I initially thought that that was going to be the first single. I remember back in the day that was such a good song that people thought that that was the first single for the Carter 3, but it just wound up being on the Leak instead. But it is good. But yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about the singles. So there's 2 of them. Despite the fact that these are just leaked songs, there actually was a little bit minor promotion for this project. But yeah, like I was talking about, actually, the first single is Gossip. So this is really kind of like a back against the wall, kind of game day kind of feeling of like a song, just in kind of like a winter kind of groove for me. It just really felt like it doesn't really feel like a summer song or a riding out kind of cruising song with your hair blowing in the wind and that type stuff. It doesn't really feel like a smoking song. It just really feels like I said, a back against the wall kind of song, just kind of feeling defiant and kind of angry and that type of stuff, and just kind of more, well, maybe not angry, but just collected kind of dissonance in there that Lil Wayne just doesn't show enough. It was just different compared to how he was on the Carter 2, and he was kind of more swaggerish on like Father Like Son, but just he had more composure on Gossip that was just pretty good. So I definitely appreciated that song. Easy kind of night going song, and just kind of training kind of type of song that you would hear like Kobe Bryant training to, or some basketball player like that from back in the day. I definitely would have to say. So it definitely works in that sense. And then the second single was I'm Me, which, like I was saying, this is like almost like a career highlight just as to how good the beat is. Excellent. Just the kind of bellish kind of ambient melody on there really kicks ass. And then I also kind of feel like Lil Wayne just really rips apart the verses, and it's just kind of the situation where that was just what he did back in 2007, 2008, 2009 and such. He just would get on these beats, he wouldn't write them, and he just had so many like punchlines and like reactive kind of things that he said, and just all those different verses and type ways that he went about it. It just consistently continued to just be lyrical barbed wire. And that just really kind of happens to be a thing. So I would have to say both the singles were pretty good. I probably would have went with like, I mean, I know 2 singles on a 5 song EP is really good, but I also think that Kush is another highlight. Just to kind of talk about this. So out of the 5 songs on here, I'll go ahead and list the 3 that I recommend to you. So I definitely recommend I'm Me and Gossip, but I also recommend Kush, which is just an excellent smoking song, just a real soulful, kind of reminds you of like a 70s kind of sitcom kind of just 70s kind of feel, just that kind of more, it's difficult to describe. It's a maestro beat, but maestro kind of has like those more classic kind of TV land kind of productions on there that just, it's been a while since I've heard beats like that. Another producer that kind of does that pretty well like that is Don Cannon. So I definitely feel like those kind of guys did that kind of stuff, but it just works out and turns out to be like a real kind of soulful and just gliding kind of smoking song that just is surprising as to how well it winds up turning out. I mean, the hook is great, this easy kind of like, and the thing about it is it's not really like a summer song. I mean, it just has like a breezy, like it's not so much like a club smoking song. This is not like a going out. I mean, this could be anywhere. This could be in your backyard smoking, in your whip, in your convertible smoking, that type stuff. Like smoking in the parking lot somewhere, smoking in a parking lot at a gym, stuff like that. Hot boxing in an alley in New York. Just all those different type of ways that it could be just definitive. Is like, I mean, it is. I said it wasn't a summer song, but it's definitely a warm weather kind of song. This has a breezy feel. This easy kind of just, you just exhale and just feel good. It just is like you just smell the fresh air and that type of stuff, and it just feels good. The cushion in the air and that type of stuff, just overall good feels as far as that kind of goes. But I didn't really like the other two songs, Love Me or Hate Me, and Talking About It. These beats were just pretty rash and just kind of abrasively bad and like not very melodic and synchronized kind of ways. I feel like compared to I'm Me, I really feel like they were probably way better. I don't know why Lil Wayne did not drop the song I Feel Like Dying and add that to the mix. That so should have been the song on this project compared to Love Me or Hate Me or Talking About It. There just are other ones. There's another one like Did It Before. There's some other ones like I'm a Beast probably would have been a good one. I mean, some of those were just, they really feel like mixtape songs. But if you go across like the five, the four, three, four, or five Carter 3 leak mixtapes that are out there from 2007, there's just so many better beats than the last two on here. It just really feels like it bogs down and it kind of almost kind of slightly kills the buzz for this album. I mean, I feel like Lil Wayne was at such a fever pitch back in late 2007, early 2008 that nothing was going to take that from him. But it's unfortunate that all five, I mean, to not nail five songs is kind of disappointing. I just don't know how people didn't notice this 14 years ago back in 2008 and 2007 to sit there and say why aren't all five of these songs classics. I mean, the thing about it is Lil Wayne of course eviscerates the songs with his lyrics, and that's what most people paid attention to back then, but not all of these songs are star studded. That just really happens to kind of be the thing. Kush is great hook, great sample, great beat, and great lyrics. And I'm Me, of course, has that. And Gossip is the real back against the wall kind of training day song. But there's just not. It's just kind of, I was like, what the hell? I was kind of like, what's going on here? Why did Lil Wayne not easily knock out 5 out of 5 songs for an EP, especially when he was completely in his prime? But that's just kind of the concept. So me liking 3 out of 5, I'm gonna give this album a 6.5 out of 10. I feel like, I give it more credit just because 3/5 of the project was good, but it's not enough to really vouch and say that this is like a classic project. I mean, it's a stopgap and it's an extra burst of Lil Wayne, but there were some songs that probably should have been on here. Like, I really feel like I Feel Like Dying should have easily been on here. I don't know what Lil Wayne was thinking by not throwing that on here. But the social score, I will give like a 6 out of 10 just because it had two good singles. I think Kush could have been another one, but I do feel like I Feel Like Dying probably could have been the better one to go with besides Gossip if that had happened. But for what it is, they're good, but I do feel like Gossip is probably the bastard stepchild compared to I'm Me. I'm Me just has a lot more flair and finesse compared to Gossip. Gossip is a good song, but it's not quite as attentive, and it's just kind of more not as immediate. So this is kind of the concept. That's the thing. So Lil Wayne has been gone since 2020. When talking about the future, it's been a little while. He dropped like The Funeral, and then there was like something else he dropped. He dropped like the deluxe edition of the Carter 5, and he also did like No Ceilings 3, the mixtape. But it's been a little while. We need to get Lil Wayne back in the swing of things because we need more moments like this, just in terms of like Gossip, I'm Me, and Kush.